Hello and welcome to Imago Day Wellbeing and Yoga. If you don't already know, my name is Annette. And before we get started, if you could just take a second to read the little terms and conditions and helpful hints and tips for your yoga flow today, we'll get started as soon as you're ready. I'll meet you on the mat. Just going to take a second, close your eyes. Just be here in this moment, present, grounding yourself. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. One more deep breath in. Exhale it out. Bringing our mind and awareness to our breath, which has always been here and has already been here, sustaining us, giving us life, just like the presence of God moving and flowing in your life, whether or not you're aware of it. And so we just take a second to be here together and to bring presence and awareness, not just to our breath, but to God moving and flowing in our lives. One more breath in. Sigh it out, feel your shoulders relax down. Lord, we welcome you into this time on the mat. Pray that you would be with us, that you would bless our movements on the mat, that you would do a holy transformational work in our hearts as we begin to work on strength and flexibility in our bodies. I pray that you would be working in our hearts, bringing flexibility and strength of character to who we are, that we may be more and more like you off the mat. Bring our hands together in gratitude for this time. Amen. So we're going to get straight into it today. Lots of twists and turns, just like life. The ebb and flow. When you're ready, just make your way into tabletop position. So you've got your knees hip width apart, wrists underneath shoulders, and we're just going to start with some cat-cow movements. You can take these as slow or as rapid as you would like, just warming up our spine. Deep breath in, and as you breathe in, arcing your back and your spine. Stretching your neck, cat pose, Marjarasana, and as you breathe out, rounding out your back, pressing your hands away from the earth, rounding out your shoulders as well, feeling that nice opening in your upper back here by your shoulder blades. Cow pose, Bittilasana. And to your own breath, breathing in, cat pose, breathing out, cow pose. Continue like this for a few more seconds, just to flow into your own breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. And we're going to come into what's known as sunbird pose, which is so sweet. Hopefully after this amazing week of sunshine and heat we've been having, we're all a little sun-kissed. So if you would just stretch your left leg out, flexing your foot, raise your right hand in front of you and begin to just engage your core, firing up our body and our muscles, everything working, gripping the mat, finding strength and stability here, because that's what we hope to do in all the twists and turns of life. Find strength and stability in all the different surprises. And as you breathe out, round in, bringing your elbow to touch your knee, and as you breathe in, straighten out again. Breathing out, elbow to knee, straighten, arm out, leg out. Adding a bit of a funky twist. We're gonna stretch, do cactus arms. So as you bring your right hand to cactus, you're gonna bring your left leg to cactus out to the side, stretching out your hips. See my arms already shaking. Working on our arm, balance and core. Everything's happening right now. Breathing in here. One more breath in, try raise it a little bit higher. Get that glute working. Oh gosh, this hurts. And on your next breath out, arm out, leg out. One more second, bring everything down to the ground. Other side, sunbird pose. Left arm out, right leg back. Breathing in here. Maybe as everything is firing and your core is working, you can distract yourself by bringing an intention or thought you have for the day or a Bible verse you've been reading. If you don't have one, I can share mine with you, which is that I am who I am, exactly as I am, where I'm supposed to be. No pretending, no proving, no performing. Breathing in. As we breathe out, we round out, touching our elbow to our knee. Breathing in, straighten. Breathe out, elbow to knee. Breathe in, straighten. As you breathe out, elbow to knee. And then this time as we breathe out, we cactus the arms, bringing the left arm into cactus and the right leg into cactus. Working on our glute muscle and our hip flexor. Oh, you can hear me shaking, guys. This is not easy. Starting hot and fast with today's class. I'm exactly as I am, exactly where I'm supposed to be. And as you breathe out, bring that left arm forward, flexing that right foot back. One more breath here. And as we breathe out, we bring it all the way down. And on our next breath out, we bring that right foot forward, coming into just a simple forward lunge. Just gently easing our knee over our toes, getting a stretch in our quad, working on our hip mobility and flexibility, all good things. Maybe you wobble out like I almost did. We breathe in here, lift arms to the sky, and stretch it out to the side in a twist. Knowing that all the twists and turns that happen in your life are all working for your good. We know that God works all things together for good, for those who love him and are called to his purposes. One more breath in. We plant our hands down, back into tabletop. Lift our left foot forward. Same stretch on this side. You want to keep your hips, your hip bones pointing forward. Tucking your sacrum, your bum underneath you, trying not to kind of ducktail your bum out, but tucking it under, engaging your core, stretching forward. Ooh. Get that nice inner thigh stretch and quad stretch on the right side. And again, working on the mobility and flexibility here of your hip on the left side. We lift our arms up, breathing in, smile to the Lord, knowing, beloved, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, exactly as you are. No need to pretend or perform or be anybody else, to try prove yourself to anyone either. That's not for you. Exactly as you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Bringing our hands up, we come back to center, plant our hands to the ground, and from tabletop position, we come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You want to keep your ears between your arms. Breathing in here, we sigh out. Maybe walk the dog, bending your right knee and then your left knee. And if you're a little bit breathless like I am, just from that slow warm up, don't worry, you're not alone. This is why we yoga. We move our bodies and we breathe deeply. Sometimes your heels may not touch the ground, and that's absolutely fine. Keep a generous bend in your knees, remembering to keep integrity of alignment from the tip of your head all the way to the tip of your sacrum. On our next breath in, we raise our right leg to the sky. And then even opening up our hip, we try get that right heel to touch our left butt cheek. Breathing in here. Maybe even bringing that right foot down, twisting up into wild thing. Life is full of surprises and anything could happen. Breathing in here. And on your next breath, coming back into downward facing dog. We lift our right leg again, stepping it through. We come into crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Your heel is not touching the ground, and you've got a slight bend in your left knee. And at any point, I'm just going to fix my mic. And if at any point you want to be doing this with your knee on the ground, that's absolutely fine. Be nice and gentle with yourself. Do what feels nicest and best in your body. And we lift our arms up. Breathing out, we twist open to the right side. Breathing in, trusting that the surprises and the twists and turns in life, God is there in them all. His breath sustaining and carrying us through. On your next breath in, step your left foot forward and we meet in Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel free to close your eyes here. Just take a deep breath. Being here in this moment. Rooting down and grounding yourself. Noticing how you feel. Are you proud of yourself for how fearfully and wonderfully made you are? Doing all these cool movements on your mat? I hope you are. I hope as you move today, you're able to celebrate your body in all the wonderful ways God has made it. On our next breath out, we reach down to forward fold. And then lift halfway, maybe bring your hands to your calves. And as we breathe in, lift our arms up, bending our knees, we come into chair pose. Breathing in here, working on our core. Your core is engaged. Your knees may track over your toes depending on how deeply you're in your chair pose. Remembering, I always forget, tuck your butt under. Everything's fired up. On our next breath, we bring our hands into prayer in front of us. We come into a twist on that right side. Your knee is in the middle of your right thigh, resting on there. And just take a look down at your knees and make sure they're both level and tracking over your toes. If you want, you can open your arms out in this twist, embracing all of God's blessings and goodness towards you in the unexpected ways that life can happen. I hope, like me, your quads are on fire. And in your next breath, we come up into mountain pose, hands up in hallelujah. And we forward fold down. Breathing in, halfway lift, hands on your calves, or maybe fingertips on the mat, whatever you fancy. And then you can either gently hop, step, or jump back into plank pose. From here, we make sure to engage our core, engage your glutes, hands underneath shoulders. Breathe in here just for a moment or two. And then we lower down onto our knees. And we've done this exercise before, but just in case you don't remember, these are going to practice our chaturanga arms. So your elbows are going to be tracking backwards towards your body. And this is very good if you're trying to work on your crow pose or your flying pigeon. Any of those really cool poses, you need really strong arms to hold your body weight. So we spread our fingers wide on the mat, bringing every point of your hand into contact with the mat. And then bending down, bring your chin as far down to the mat as possible, coming back up. Your elbows not going out to the side like a traditional push-up, but going backwards. 2, 3, and on this last one we're going to hold and try and stretch out our feet. I warn you, this is hard, so already you're doing an amazing job. Down we go. Stretching out our right foot, bending, stretching our left. And again, keeping your elbows tight against your body. One more time. And then lowering all the way down into baby cobra. We breathe here. If you're sweating, I'm sweating. You're still beautiful. Don't worry about it. And up into full cobra. Stretching our back. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can even come into upward facing dog. Standing on your toes, thighs and hips off the mat. And then up into downward facing dog. We do it all again on the left side. Left leg up, stretching and flexing, opening up our hip, maybe getting that left foot to tap on our right glute. Maybe even swiveling on that right foot, bringing the left foot behind us, coming all the way into wild thing. And on our next breath, we come back into downward facing position. Maybe don't even bring your left foot down, but bring it straight up behind you. And then through into crescent lunge between your hands. Arms up by your ears. It's nice to be off my arms. Remember, you can always bring your knee down if you feel like that's what you need in this moment. It's absolutely fine. Do what's best for you and what feels nicest in this moment. We're here to celebrate our bodies, not punish them. And on your next breath, open and twist out to the left side Hello. Breathing in here. And then coming back into center, step that right foot forward to meet your left. Maybe bringing your hands into gratitude in front of you. Closing your eyes. Grateful for your body, for this time on the mat, to be with the Lord, to be with yourself, to reconnect and celebrate your amazing body and all the things it can do. You are as you are, exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly who you're supposed to be. On your next breath out, forward fold down. No need to perform, to prove, or pretend. I hope that's something that we can carry with us off the mat today, after a practice, to show up to our lives. And in your next breath, bend your knees, coming into chair pose. Maybe you challenge yourself and bring your hands in prayer in front of you. Remember to tuck your butt in, engage your core. Breathing here. And on your next breath out, coming into a twist. As you can see, my right elbow is in the middle of that left thigh. And as I look down, I notice that my right knee is a little bit more forward than my left. So I'm just going to readjust and see if you need to do the same for yourself. Maybe look up to the sky. Maybe open up your arms, receiving the love of God for you exactly as you are. Next breath in, we forward fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Forward fold again. And you can either step, lightly hop, or jump back into plank. Wrists underneath shoulders, I was going to say elbows, wrists underneath shoulders. Holding it for just a moment, firing up our core. And then we lower down onto our knees, coming into chaturanga arms. Wipe the sweat off your face. Take a deep breath in. You got this. 1, 2, 3. And on the next one, we're going to try and see if we have it in us to stretch our legs up behind us. 4, come down and hold. First your right foot goes out, then your left, then your right again, then your left, keeping your elbows tight against your body. And then we lower down into baby cobra. And breathing in, we come into full cobra. If you want, you can come into upward facing dog, or you can be staying in full cobra or baby cobra. So many options. And on your next breath out, we come into downward facing dog. Breathing in here, breathing out. Any negative self-talk, any judgment, any insecurity that wants to tempt us to perform or prove or pretend in our lives. Coming down onto our knees, Come into child's pose. Spread your hips as wide as the mat. Balasana. Breathing deeply here. Let your belly expand. Get really big. Embarrassingly big. Breathing out. Maybe even you want to practice your Ujjayi breath here. Closing your mouth. Try and engage those throat muscles at the back, as if you're going to whisper. And then as you breathe out through your nose, try to maybe fog up a glass or a mirror. And hopefully over time, as you begin to practice and figure out what this sounds like for you, it will mimic the sounds of ocean waves. On your next breath, we come into seated position, or actually staff position, legs out in front. Gosh, I hope you're sweating like I am, otherwise that's embarrassing. Folding forward. Try and keep your belly touching your thighs. Your lower back as straight as possible. Feet flexed. Maybe you grab your feet. Maybe you grab your ankles. Maybe you just grab your calves and you're here today. Wherever you are, breathe deeply. Into your lower back. Trying not to round your back and your shoulders. And if you need, you can bring a slight bend into your knees like I've just done. And then come to lying down on your back. And we're just going to do a few core and glute exercises in bridge pose. Nothing too intense. If you have a block or a book, grab that now and bring your feet up to the sky, putting the block between your thighs. Then bringing your feet down. Make sure your middle finger is just kissing the heels of your feet. Shoulders down on the mat, and on your next breath in, we lift our bum and our hips up into bridge pose, making sure you're squeezing that block or that book as tightly as you can. And on our next breath, we lower down. As we breathe in, we lift up. Maybe coming onto our shoulders. Feel free to go up and down at your own breath. Or if you fancy, you can walk your shoulder blades closer together, clasp your hands underneath you, and carry on squeezing that block, building even more and more heat in your quads and in your glutes, firing up those muscles. You can even pick your toes up off the ground. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh. We lower all the way down. Put that block to the side. Take a deep breath in. And lifting your legs up into the sky, toes pointing up. You can bring your hands to grab your bum and begin to lift yourself up into shoulder stand, bringing your hands to support your lower back. your elbows pointing to the mat in front of you. So kind of not splayed out to the walls beside you, if that makes sense. We bring all the blood rushing around in our feet and in our legs that have been working really hard. Bring it all the way down to the upper half of our body. One more breath here, straight, 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 and then lower all the way down. Coming into Savasana. Palms up, hands out to the side. Everything relax from your toes to your feet. Relax your legs, give them a little shake. Breathe in. Long breath out. Just begin to notice how you feel. What's tingling? What's been working hard for you today on the mat? Radiate love and gratitude to those areas. If you find your thoughts racing, just bring yourself back to awareness of your breath and your body and God. He's not in a rush. He's not distracted. He's fully present here with you now. May you receive the love of God for you exactly as you are, fearfully and wonderfully made, exactly where you are in the season you find yourself. Who you are and where you are is good. Stay here for as long as it serves you, and when you're ready, gently roll over to the side. Bring yourself up into a seated position. Thank you so much for sharing this incredibly sweaty time with me. As always, beloved, I honor the dignity and the divinity within you. May it be a light unto your path and to others as well, and a lamp unto your feet, guiding and directing your steps each day. Until next time, go in peace, be well, namaste.